Hi folks, hope you're doing well. I wanted to hop on really quickly and talk about our winner for VidBeer 2023. It's Tvorchi with the song Heart of Steel, and they will be representing Ukraine at this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
Don't get what you say, don't get how you feel.
This is going to be a surprise for quite a few people because the big favorite was Jerry Hale, at least from an international point of view. I heard that certain people in Ukraine weren't 100% sold on her song, but she ended up doing pretty well in the end anyway. Then of course there was Krut, who was also, I would say, a pretty big favorite. She ended up winning the jury vote at least, and I don't think anyone was too surprised about that given the emotional impact of the song. In the end, she only finished third with the televote, which left the door open for either Jerry Hale or Tvorchi, and Tvorchi ended up taking the win in the end because they were the first choice of the televote. To speak about the performance itself, I do think that it was one of the most visually fleshed out. There were, of course, certain technical limitations that restricted everyone. If you don't know, this event didn't happen in a television studio, and that's why it was quite small. It was built in a bomb shelter that was connected to a metro station, and they did that so that if there were any, air raid sirens going off or any kind of threat of destruction, that it wouldn't disturb the flow of the show. Considering the technical limitations, I do think they did a very good job with what was given to them. I wouldn't have expected a song like this to win the televote, at least, before having seen it, because I was thinking with the current circumstances that people might have been feeling a little bit more nationalistic and would have wanted to vote for something that maybe had the Ukrainian language or, incorporated traditional instruments like Krut's Bandura. When reviewing the songs, I did feel like this one had the most international sound to it. And for some people, they might interpret that as being generic. But really, this is showing a different side of Ukrainian culture that we haven't yet seen at Eurovision, and I think that's a great thing. What I would like to see from this performance to improve is that I would like for the chorus to be a little bit more dynamic in either the camera work or the lighting, because it just felt like there was lots of dynamics in the verses, but then when it came to the chorus, things kind of slowed down a little bit. On a bigger stage like Eurovision, that can be achieved in a much easier way than the small confined one that we had here. But ultimately, I'm really impressed that they were able to pull it off, and clearly they made a big impact. This is a really solid choice in my point of view. Wasn't my first choice, I have to admit, but when it came to the live, I think that they were definitely one of the ones that delivered the most. And it's like I said, we should be open to all possibilities, because some people were convinced that it was going to go one way, other people were convinced it was going to go another way, and it ended up going a third way that not as many people were seeing. Best of luck to Tvorchi and the Ukrainian delegation for 2023. I'm really excited to see how this performance can be made bigger. I also want to take this moment to thank Irina from OGAE Ukraine. She sat down with me to talk about these songs and give them a little bit of context. I couldn't have done it without you. You're phenomenal. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. I'm really excited for the year ahead. And this is really just the beginning. It's our first song. There are 36 more to go, and anything can happen. Let me know what you think down in the comments about Heart of Steel. Do you like this entry? Is this something that you would listen to outside of Eurovision? And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel so that we can keep talking about some of the upcoming selections. Some are coming up very, very soon, and I would love to know what you have to say about those. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you again, and see you next time.